It's going to be a cold one today. If it's this cold outside, you can guarantee it's even. Currently can't even get the lock open because it's so cold. The padlock is frozen. Good man. Hi everybody and welcome back to episode 2 of Building a Defender. In this episode we're going to fit the engine and gearbox to the chassis and potentially the bulkhead, but what you'll see is myself, and I've enlisted the help of one of the guys who pulled him off another project to come and help today with some of the heavy work. There's a lot of this stuff, takes a lot of manipulation, and as you can see he's been eating all of his beans. He's also got a mic on him today. This is the first time Ian's been on mic, so we'll have to see how that goes. But we're going to fit the engine and gearbox now to this chassis down here. You won't be stamping on anybody's head, sir, because I'll struggle cuddle you. I'll tell you what, in the effort to prep everything, I forgot to get all the pulleys out of the dairy.
Pulleys? Oh, what, for the front?
Sorry guys, I am just out of shot trying to make the engine crane work. Ian, this doesn't appear to be working now, but it looks like we might be having a problem. Can hydraulic oil freeze, Ian?
You can get thick, it won't freeze.
One thing I know about hydraulic cylinders is you definitely shouldn't put fire on them to warm them up. Oh, we're working. We're cooking on coal now. This is not good, mate. This is not going how I thought. Ian, do you reckon we can think of some clever way to get some hydraulic oil in this?
Yeah, no, okay.
What, one of the pump ones? I've got that thing there, but... Let me get a pair of pliers. I'm back over at the toolbox, which is in the other side of the workshop, even though I know that there's a toolbox right next to the Defenders. Oh, there we go. Do you reckon I can get you to do that, Ian, while I'm doing nothing?
Yeah.
So Ian right now is fitting a fuel tank bracket. Just going to get some little bits like that done and out of the way while we're preparing the engine. There's some bits we still have to do to the engine once it's in the chassis, like the rear main oil seal, flywheel, clutch kit, but all of that stuff is on the back of the engine stand, so we couldn't do it in situ. You know what this looks like, Ian? It looks like surgery. Ian's just doing surgery at the minute on the engine crane as it isn't able to pick up the arm high enough to pick the engine up. Really should get another one of these. It's funny, now that he knows he's on camera, he doesn't talk. Normally when he's here, he doesn't stop talking. Say again.
Well.
Pass. What I do have is one of these.
We are so prepared for today.
Oh, this is what I was saying earlier about you can try and be as prepared as you want, but when the engine crane fails, which is mad because it worked last time we used it. Is it working? Oh. It might want pumping right up. Go on then, have another go. How many idiots does it take to fix an engine crane? Oh, I think this is turning into like one of those ASMR videos, Ian. It's just like
Heavy breathing.
just heavy breathing and pure tool noise.
A few moments later.
I didn't even realise it went that high. I don't think it's ever had the right amount of oil in it. Let's make a great swing. Ian, you've gone too far now. Put it back down. This is meant to be a semi-professional video. Yep. Okay, go. Can you come forward at all? Yeah. You've got to make sure it doesn't snap the bloody rocker shaft. Will it take the weight of it? Yeah, lovely. She's off. Right.
Strategically place myself
Strategically.
on the back end.
Yeah, it's probably quite a good idea that. Ian. Yeah, I'm a bit stuck. Actually, to be honest, let's just get a 17mm and we'll just take that actual cradle off and grab a 17mm socket or spanner or something. Will it fall over? No, it's fine. Engineering. That's all right. So we now have access to the whole back end of this, which means we can put a little bit more of the engine casing on, which is the rear flywheel cover. This obviously all needs a good clean up, but I think we'll do that while it's in so that Ian can prep the other parts like the gearbox and everything else while I'm putting this rear cover on, the flywheel, the clutch and all the other pieces, and this 2.8 TGV rear main oil seal, which we need to drill those additional holes for, Ian, don't we?
Yes.
Right, let's get it in there and propped up, or a bit of wood or something underneath it.
Should sit quite level.
Yeah, they're not too bad. And then what I'll do is I'll get you then to prep the gearbox and stuff and get all that put together in internal pieces. Let's see if we can manipulate this. And as this is a top quality Chinese engine crane, you've got to be really careful with it
Push
because
the chassis back a little.
it fell over last time, didn't it? So. You ever seen those videos where the people on the building sites like help but don't help? They're like, yeah. I miss the days of having a forklift. Careful, whoa, whoa, whoa. Go up a bit more. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Yep, yep.
Good.
Ow! Ow, I've just absolutely drilled my knee on the chassis. Yeah, nice and slow. Nice and slower. Oh, it's really slow now. That's pretty much there, mate, so stop there a sec. Gonna need a bit of manipulation. Go down just a little bit, tiny bit. Go down. I've got one side in, so we'll get a lever bar and we'll push that other side. Go down a little bit more. Right, stop there. I'll get a lever bar. And guys, if you're doing this at home, do not put your fingers where you wouldn't put your willy. Is the general rule. lever bar. Right, go down. Yeah. Go down. Right, just leave it there a sec because it's going to want a bit of.
So there's no weight on that crane anymore.
No, if we knock it with a hammer and a lever bar. I'll go back to this toolbox over here, Ian. One right at the back. You push it and I'll use my hammer. There you go. That's him.
Good.
Yeah, it looks like the timing cover's sat on the steering box, which should hold it up straight. So there you go. Right, if we get that right out into the main workshop.
Yep.
Right, if you're happy to chuck the gearbox cross member in then,
Yep.
I'm going to jump in, clean all that face up.
Yeah. That's all.
We've got one big dowel, or two dowels there.
Yeah, that's all that's in there.
You put them in, did you?
No, they're already in it.
Oh, right, fair enough.
So they must have gone in when the block was done.
Right, we're going to wire brush on a drill.
Engine.
Oh, it's so cold.
He's always moaning.
It's because it's minus 240 degrees in here, mate.
I don't know, it feels quite
And
warm.
because we're filming, we can't have the heater on.
It feels quite warm to me.
That is not what you were saying when you turned up, you lying bugger. See, you're such a gaslighter. Open disclosure, I've only had the wrong gearbox cross member painted. So Ian's just going to go and have a look for another one. If we can't find another one, the reality is that today I'm going to hold the gearbox up and the engine up with a piece of wood until I've found the correct one, painted it and had it fitted. It's something that can go on later, so it's not going to hinder this episode too much, but it's just annoying. They do two variants of this Defender cross member. They do a Discovery one and a Defender one, and for some reason I've got a Discovery one. I'm not totally sure how that's happened, probably from one of the vehicles that I've broken for parts, but it's the wrong one. So we're going to change that for the right one. We just have to find it. You can modify them to fit, but I'm not going to do that. I want this to be a concourse restoration job. I don't want to start chopping this up and be missing bolt holes and things like that. So I'm going to find the correct one. So I'm just about to drill the holes for the rear main seal, and on the 2.8 rear mains, this is what I was talking about. So the two holes that are at the bottom are not actually received in the engine. So you have to drill those holes, and what you can see in my hand is a center punch. And the way that works, it's the same exact method as punching something with a hammer and a chisel, just a little more precise. So I've center punched them. I'm going to drill them out to about 2.5 mil or 3 millimeters, and then I'm going to put the 5 mil drill bit through to then send the M6 tap. I used the gasket as a guide to position the two holes. So I lined that up with the rear main, drilled the holes in the gasket face, and now drilling the holes in the engine block. Key to drilling a good hole is nice and slow speed, not any high speed trigger pulls, and use a good tapping compound or tapping lube. And what I'll do is I'll step this up to a 5 mil, and as this is my finished hole size to take the tap, you need to be very careful about how straight it is. So that was actually a 3 mil hole that we used to pilot that with. And these rear main oil seals are a fantastic upgrade, because almost every Land Rover on the planet that hasn't had this mod will leak oil on your driveway. Now I can run a 6x1 mil tap through that hole. Answer to that question is I don't know. Problem is, because this crank is in the way, the tool that's designed to run the tap isn't long enough, so I'm not able to turn it at the moment. What else can be done here? I think I'm just going to have to turn this 1/4 of a turn at a time with the tool. That nut didn't work. Child-proof wrapping. So I'm going to use a different gasket to the one that I used as a template. There's two types of gasket. You've got like a metal gasket and a more modern fibrous gasket. I prefer the fibre ones. I don't really like these metal ones, especially if you have to modify them, because it leaves a bit of a raised edge, which you can try and trim with all you like, but it's never going to be quite right. So I use that as a template because it's a bit more rigid, but I'm actually going to use the paper gasket. Second to that, I'm going to use a bit of RTV instant gasket just behind it. Again, just a very light smear to seal that surface. As we're using the silicone, I'm going to clean off all that oil that we put on there with a bit of degreaser, or brake cleaner would work as well. You don't need excess silicone at this point. This is just a very light smear. The gasket does most of the work. This is just helping that. The thing about RTV as well, it's oil resistant. So you must use oil resistant silicone or instant gasket material. So that's now on there. So on there, rear mains come with a plastic guide. The point of that is that it fits over the crank and offers a very low friction surface for the rear main oil seal to slip over the top of, as it's directional. So use that as a guide. If you try and force it on, the seal will back up on itself and you'll have a massive leak. So what I'll do is line that up, and you need to push it on straight and even. I'll tell you what else is really good practice. It's just a little bit of oil. So if you've got a bit of the engine oil that's required for the vehicle, just a little bit around the outside. Right, no more air guns for just a second, Ian. I said no power tools. It's my toothbrush.
Right, Andy, I'll hang on for you to carry on doing.
Yeah, you hang on for me to do my instructional video.
You do the instructional bit, I'll do the dirty bit behind the scenes.
You do the dirty. Well, you say dirty, but look how clean it is.
I'm just surprised on how clean I am compared to you, and you're just putting a rear main oil seal on a brand new engine.
You know me, I like to roll around in the dirt. Oh, buggery. You can grab that in, could you please? Charles. Have you got those little M6s as well? And an 8mm, I'll put those in.
You got a 10 there, doing like the rear main?
No. I'm not prepared at all, Ian, you know this.
No, you're not prepared, are you?
Can you grab us a torque setting for this, Ian, could you please?
Torque setting for it.
Yeah. 25? Shock. I was only saying yesterday how pretty much everything that's M8 on these things is 25 Newton meters. Newton meters.
Built by the English in Birmingham.
Built by the English in Birmingham. Everything gets 25 Newton meters. It's probably already set on 25, or is it on 5? Yeah, because yesterday I did. Something has 5, that was it, yesterday. Rocker shaft, 5 Newton meters followed by 50 degrees. Why couldn't they just give it a torque zone? In your workshop you just built up tight, didn't you?
Yeah, follow the book. Does that sound convincing?
No.
No, not at all.
Speaking about tight, I was talking before on one of the videos about Ugadugas being an official measurement.
Yeah.
And how one Ugaduga relates to about 10 Newton meters.
Yeah.
So,
unless, well, it depends on the size of the gun that you're using.
yeah, I mean, we've got to do the flywheel bolts up in a minute. And the known feel is 27 Ugadugas,
Okay.
which is 270 Newton meters.
Yeah. I know
So-
that are really tight.
Tight.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Tight.
But yet again, they get done up with
An Ugaduga, yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone talking about it in all my life.
How, yeah, I mean, you'd have to have some specialist tool to do that, wouldn't you?
That's his engine lights. Very long. Isn't there?
Yes.
And then some 4 really long ones for the bottom.
You got that copper and hide hammer again, bud?
No.
Lovely. Lovely. So Ian is just putting together the gearbox. This is the Ashcroft Transmissions rebuild. So this is, I couldn't tell you what suffix, but it's the correct suffix for the year. Just going to give that a clean up, fit all the gearbox internals, and then put it together. I'm just about to do these flywheel bolts up, as the flywheel's now fitted. And then we're under the impression that we're missing a clutch fork, aren't we, Ian? So we're going to have to try and figure that out today.
Yeah.
Obviously these parts are part of the original car, so all of this is part of the original car's gearbox, so we'll clean all that up and give it a good grease.
Look through some of the boxes, see if we can find a clutch fork.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty much good to go.
There must be a clutch fork somewhere. It's the sort of thing I reckon I've probably got 10 of somewhere.
Yeah.
Might be worth having a look in the container, because I think there's a box with stuff like that in there. It's now fitted the clutch. However, we had to improvise. I do have a spline that I actually cut out of a gearbox many years ago. So this part has to line up with the clutch and the spigot bearing. So years ago I cut one of these out to use it as a clutch alignment tool. However, I couldn't find it, so we've had to improvise. What we've done is used a bar that's a similar diameter to both parts, and then used electrical tape to build it up until it slots in. And the two tapes represent the spigot bearing and the clutch itself. So when you wind that in, it centralises the clutch to the pressure plate. So when we put the gearbox in, it lines up first time. I say first time, optimistically. They never line up first time. This is somewhat a battle. And even with two of us, it can it can get a bit tricky. So fortunately, Ian's found a heavy-duty clutch fork in the container, which is great news. I've now fitted the clutch and lined that up as explained. Put the studs in the bell housing, and we're now ready to have a go at fitting it. And I was explaining, Ian, that this normally is not a 2-minute process, even with two reasonably strong guys, or one hugely strong guy and an Ian. We'll see how Ian's stamina does, because last time we did this, Ian had 0 stamina. All the strength in the world for 1 rep, wasn't it, Ian? But that was it. Yeah. And then,
I was dying.
Yeah, Fat Dad beat him to it, I think. Right, so let's get this fitted. Right, you ready? Oh. You see, he's wasted his 1 rep on carrying the gearbox on his own. You see, now you're going to be absolutely useless to me, Ian. You are. Yeah, I got it. Right, ready? You grab the shaft, I've got the housing. What's that? Oh, buggery. Back out.
Technical error. I took the one at the other side.
Did you?
Yeah, because I noticed that there was one in the bottom.
That's funny, I wonder why they... That mustn't be the original flywheel cover then. And immediately that didn't feel like it was just going to go straight in, Ian, did it?
That's a good job you can edit it.
We're not going to edit it. Everybody is going to watch the pain that we're about to go through. Ian's just removing a stud in the bell housing, as he forgot to do it earlier. You had one job, mate. Right. Lift with your back. That feels a bit dirty, Ian. I bet we haven't got a nut, have we? That feels a bit dirty that went straight in. Oh, it didn't, did it? It's... Right, hang on. I'm going to do some running and heavy breathing.
That's pretty normal. Fully
And 10 flange nuts. Gold. And I'll be super prepared and I'll get a socket as well. How about that? How about that, Ian, eh? Say again?
I said, if we were prepared, we'd all be professional.
This is almost a professional outfit. Yeah. I thing is, anybody that's watching this as an instructional video will 100% be doing the same thing we are. Except we've got 15 years of knowing better.
Plus.
Well, yeah, nearly 20 actually, but combined we've got more experience than we've got age.
Yes.
I'm going to get a nut gun, mate, just to make your life a little bit easier.
Well, waste even more than I've got a standard out.
Well, everybody on the camera can definitely hear how heavy you're breathing at this point. Right, what's the plan here, Ian? You want something bigger, don't you?
No, that'll do.
Good. So anybody at home watching this after spending 3 hours trying to line their gearbox up, it never goes that well, does it?
No.
It never ever goes in that easy, which could mean that your clutch alignment tool that you made
It's good.
is better than the other one. Right, we'll torque those up in a minute. Just notice we've got some here to do, which don't appear to be lined up, which is always good. That's good, isn't it, Ian?
Yeah, they will be lined up. We can move them around a little bit. You can
Alright.
put a mount on it.
Sorry?
You can put a mount on it.
I don't think we'll bother. I think we'll try and find a piece of wood or something to just hold the weight of it, because we're going to have to take that cross member out anyway. Should we get an axle stand with something on it, like a tall axle stand?
Yeah.
Let me go and find a red one. That could be tall enough to, yeah, it should be plenty tall enough. We'll put it underneath the gearbox casing because I'd quite like to get the transfer box put in. If you do all the silverback gorilla stuff, I'll,
Ready?
yep, up a bit more. Yeah, let's go. Hang on, that's not quite in there. Not in a very good place. Not in a good place, not mentally, just physically. There you go. That should make putting the transfer box in a bit easier. Is the transfer box ready to go in? I can't remember what that looked like.
It's over there on the floor.
Found it. It's over there on the floor, Ian. Should we lift this one together? Make it look like I helped you with some of the work. Ready? Ooh. This is just ready to throw in, isn't it? Watch that camera stand behind you. Hang on. We've got a dowel there.
Which one?
That one. Don't know. Why have these tied that to there but not giving us the dowels back? You got it a sec?
Yeah.
So I think we're just getting video of our arses at the moment. Move the camera. Right tool for the right job, Ian.
Yeah, about 30 centimetres away from where you picked that up from, there was a set of sidecars.
Was that? Yeah, there's a dowel. Have we got a... We need one of those, don't we? Where have we taken one of them out of something recently? You handed me a single one, didn't you?
Yeah.
I also feel like we looked for this before and couldn't find it. Ian saved the day again. So that's the little dowel that we need to go into the gearbox. And it's just a locating dowel. We've got one, but there's two, so. You know, years ago, Ian, I tried to fit one of these, and I just could not get it to go in. And it was probably 3 hours in that I'd realised the shaft was stepped.
Yeah.
And although it came off pretty easy, it was never ever going to go back in again.
Yeah, because the early ones ate the splines out,
Yeah.
so they put pre-drilled, they put drilled centre gears in them, so they get an oil feed. Before we go any further,
Yep.
and I'm not going to be standing there holding it for the next 10 hours,
Yeah.
we've got bolts.
I quite like the idea of just putting it in and you holding it while I try and find the bolts. I don't know where all this stuff's gone. It appears the sandwich bag technique has not worked on the gearbox bolts.
Or on a lot of the bolts.
Or on the what?
Or on a lot of the bolts.
Yeah. You've got two, have you? Yeah, that'll work. We'll put those in.
Have you got a 13 or ratchet? Or gun? Or anything?
Yes. No.
Yeah,
I
30
can
in front of you.
put a 13 on a ratchet on a gun. Right, we are ready to go. Yeah, alright, that's off. That's on, yeah. We're just putting the gearbox or transfer box into diff lock so that when we turn it, it moves the spline inside the transfer box and potentially helps us. Well, it doesn't move it actually, it holds it still, doesn't it, while we try and line it up with that. Right, ready?
Got your side?
I've got my side, I've got the really heavy end, mate.
Yeah, I'll let you have the end.
I'll take the heavy end.
Oh, lift your hand up a bit. Lift your hand up a bit.
That's it, it's on the spline. There you go. Bolts. Check. This will be driving tomorrow. Genuinely, as a challenge, I think we probably could achieve that if we said we're going to go and we had all the parts, assuming we had actually all the parts we needed. I think from this position to tomorrow at 5 o'clock, this vehicle could be driving. Not as a complete vehicle, not like built up body, but you know what I mean, like with the...
Would be impressive if it was a built-up body by
Yeah, mate. We'd be millionaires, Rodney, because I'd be able to produce 10 of these every week. So that's most of the drivetrain and engine in. Obviously got some bolts left to do up and bits and pieces, but that's all the heavy work. I think that's all I needed Ian for today. Yeah, find the cross member. And then I can start building up the rest of this. So put the turbo on, the exhaust, the prop shafts. And yeah, carry on with the rolling chassis build.
up.
Yeah, there'll be something that we've forgotten. We were just talking about how prepared Ian was this morning, and he set up a trolley of the YRM bulk kits, and we use these exclusively because they're brilliant. So they sell a full bulk kit for a 19 and 110 that includes everything you need to put the thing together, and all the bags are labelled because there's so many different bolts. Like they're the Gearbox cross member bolts that we're not going to use because Ian can't find the right cross member, and we've got
that's a my fault.
Yeah, that's a 100% your fault thing. We've got the bulkhead bolts because we're about to fit the bulkhead. It's quite a good time to do the bulkhead really, because then when it comes to wiring the engine up and putting everything in, everything's there to bolt it to, like the brake, clutch, master cylinder, etc. So we're going to go and try and wrestle with that now, because again, that's another thing that never normally goes very well, does it? That takes a bit of persuading. You watch this go in as well, and then we're just going to have to, I think I'm probably just going to call this quits on this business, mate. So I've completed that.
Done.
There is no need to continue this endeavour. Whoa, that scared the life out of me. There's a snake in my boot. Right.
You go first, because you're on the
Oh yeah, I'll walk backwards. That's not the way it's going in, is it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Your driver's side. You're closest to the wall. You're closest to all the painted panels. Okay.
How has this worked out? I thought this was the whole point of employing people, was that you got to tell them what to do. So I'm walking backwards. To me, pivot, right, up and over. It's always a race to get the bolt in first, because then, oh, Ian's beat me. He's beaten me. Right, have you got that mallet? Yeah, the first person to get the bolt in does the least amount of work. So in typical Ian style, he's managed to beat me to the bolt race. that's it. We're going to have to call this business quits soon because that never normally goes that well.
Because there is two professional guys putting it together.
Professional monkeys.
Putting it together.
Where are did you set my nuts out as well?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds a bit.
Cross member underneath the bulkhead.
That sounds a bit naughty, doesn't it? Oh, of course I didn't see.
Because I put them in such a safe place.
You put them in such a safe place I can't get them in.
You ain't gonna lose them, I know.
Well, I have lost a nut before, but I'm not going to go into that on video.
We're not talking about nuts in the video.
Right, cool. That's it.
That's fucking
Finished.
complete. Put up for sale.
I quite like the colour on those wheels. The green and white.
It's a very factory look until you look close to the paint.
Yeah, obviously the paint, well, you've seen some of it already if you follow our Instagram. But it's a deep metallic dark green and it's dusty, so you'll have to forgive it, but very, very dark colour. In the shadows almost looks black.
Grab a torch.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Go up and down with the torch. It's quite difficult to see even in here, I think, because the
Light and all that good.
yeah, it's quite dim in here, isn't it? But it looks good against the gold. I've always liked green and gold, or dark colours and gold.
But it's, like I said, it's a very factory look until you look close to the paint.
It'd be cool when it's done and it's got a tan soft top and tan interior in it. And now we can transfer some of the leather samples. Let's do that, Ian, because put that against the paint and I can mull that over for the next 3 months like I did with Zeus. Well, I already don't like Zeus's interior on this colour, but do you know what, Ian, I do like that one.
Which one you putting on Zeus?
The shiny one on the far right.
That one.
Yeah, I really like that brown. Not that we're limited to only these 3 colours, obviously we can look at those another day, but I do like that colour.
I like the dark one.
What do you think if there was a choice and it was your car?
Because you're doing a tan top as well, aren't you?
Yeah,
That colour.
something like that, yeah. Or black, what do you think? That's just a black backed tan. It's quite dusty. What about the other side of it? Is it clean on the other side? Definitely not that. It's funny how I dislike it on this colour, but on Zeus I really like that colour. Put it against the tan. No, I mean put the tan roof colour against the brown leather. Don't know about that either. I think hang that sample book over the leather and I'll just look at it. I think that's the thing about
There's
this.
another tan one here.
Is it a slightly different shade?
Yeah, slightly different.
Interesting, something to think about over the next month or so while this is being built. There is another sample book in there, Ian, I think.
Is it?
I'm sure there's another one.
Oh.
What's that? Green? No. No, I'm not into the green roof idea. I don't know, what do you guys think? Put that back up there? Not really my thing, that looks too military. We achieved most of what I wanted to achieve today. And as described, the engine is fitted, the transmission and the transfer box and the bulkhead. And it's nice to have some of this colour sprawled across it to start thinking about some of the interior choices that this vehicle might have. If you're watching this video and you're interested in purchasing one of these vehicles, included are Zeus and Exodus, the motorcycle package, the mountain bike package, then please get in touch. Leave a comment or get in touch with us via email or our contact us page on our website. And the website is www.coachman-defenders.co.uk. You can reach us on a number of platforms, including WhatsApp. And if you'd just like to discuss a vehicle, whether it's these ones or something else, or really just about anything Land Rover, I'm always happy to discuss Land Rovers. This vehicle currently is being built to a spec that I want, with the view of advertising it for sale at the end. So jump in early if you're interested, get involved in the build yourself. Maybe you could have a decision on the leather and the soft top, or hard top, or single cab. Just about any option really is available. So please don't hesitate to get in touch if you've got any questions at all about the content we produce or the builds. And thank you again for watching. Over and out.